With Trump's hardline stance on immigration, certain countries have found themselves on the wrong side of U.S. policy. From travel bans and stricter visa regulations to increased deportations, Trump has made it clear that some nations are no longer welcome. But which Asian countries are facing the biggest restrictions today? On Globe Discoveries, we're counting down 10 Asian countries that Trump doesn't want in the United States, whether it's due to national security concerns, economic competition, or political tensions. These nations are seeing tighter U.S. immigration policies than ever before. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on more engaging content. Number 10. China. China's relationship with the U.S. has been rocky for years, and under Trump's policies, it's only gotten worse. According to the New York Times, Trump has repeatedly criticized Chinese immigration, citing concerns about economic competition, espionage, and national security threats. One of Trump's biggest moves against China was banning certain Chinese visas, particularly for students and researchers in science, technology, and engineering fields. The administration argued these individuals could be stealing U.S. intellectual property. Chinese investors and business professionals also face increased scrutiny, with Trump implementing strict regulations on Chinese-owned companies in the U.S. Forbes reports that Chinese visa issuances dropped by nearly 40% under Trump. With rising anti-China sentiment, trade wars, and diplomatic tensions, Chinese immigration may remain restricted for years. Number 9. Iran. Iran has long been on Trump's list of restricted nations. In 2025, CNN highlighted that Trump labeled Iran a national security threat, leading to harsh visa restrictions and a severe travel ban. The expanded ban made it nearly impossible for Iranians to enter the U.S. for work, study, or family reunification. The Washington Post notes that visa approvals for Iranians dropped by over 50%, even for those with legal sponsorships. With ongoing hostility, Iranian immigration policies are unlikely to loosen soon. Number 8. Afghanistan. Afghanistan has been deeply affected by Trump's policies, especially after the U.S. military withdrawal and the Taliban's resurgence. Reuters reports that Afghan refugee applications were halted or denied, including interpreters and U.S. military allies. Trump claimed accepting refugees posed a security risk, despite their collaboration with U.S. forces. The Department of Homeland Security reveals Afghan applicants now face some of the longest processing times, leaving many in bureaucratic limbo. Number 7. Pakistan. Pakistan faces increasing restrictions due to terrorism concerns and strained diplomacy. The New York Times states Pakistani visa approvals dropped sharply, with Trump citing border security risks. Work and student visas are heavily restricted. Pakistani student visas declined by 45% in 2025. Stricter vetting, longer background checks, and high rejection rates make Pakistan one of Trump's least welcome Asian nations. Number 6. North Korea. North Korea remains one of the most sanctioned countries globally, with Trump imposing a complete travel ban. Even humanitarian and diplomatic visas face extreme hurdles. Amnesty International reports North Korean defectors are denied entry or redirected to other countries. With tensions at an all-time high, Trump's stance is unlikely to change. Number 5. Syria. Syria's immigration pathways to the U.S. have been effectively shut down under Trump's policies. Amid ongoing civil war and humanitarian crises, Trump slashed Syrian refugee admissions by over 90%, according to Human Rights Watch. This drastic reduction has left thousands of displaced Syrians stranded, including women, children, and activists fleeing persecution. Even family reunification visas, once a lifeline for separated families, are now nearly impossible to secure, with applicants facing years-long processing times and opaque bureaucratic hurdles. The Trump administration justifies these restrictions by citing national security risks, alleging potential ties between Syrian refugees and extremist groups. However, Critics argue that the policies ignore the plight of vulnerable populations, such as survivors of regime violence or ISIS atrocities. The Washington Post reports that Syrian applicants now undergo 18 to 24 months of vetting on average, with many cases indefinitely delayed. With no resolution to Syria's conflict and Trump's focus on America First security measures, Syria remains one of the most restricted nations for U.S. immigration. Number 4. Myanmar has faced heightened scrutiny under Trump's immigration crackdown, particularly due to its human rights violations against the Rohingya Muslim minority. The U.S. State Department condemned Myanmar's military-led ethnic cleansing campaigns, which displaced over 1 million Rohingya. In response, Trump's administration reduced work visas for Myanmar citizens by 60%, as reported by Reuters, citing concerns over political instability and corruption. Migrant workers and students from Myanmar now struggle to access U.S. opportunities, with visa rejections disproportionately affecting those from conflict zones like Rakhine State. Advocacy groups warn that these restrictions punish ordinary citizens rather than the military junta responsible for atrocities. Additionally, Trump's travel advisory warnings against Myanmar have deterred cultural and academic exchanges, further isolating the country. As Myanmar's crisis deepens, its citizens face double barriers: repression at home and closed doors abroad. Number 3. Bangladesh confronts rising visa rejections and deportation pressures under Trump's policies. Homeland Security reports link Bangladesh to undocumented South Asian immigrants, prompting stricter screening for students, workers, and tourists. In 2025, visa rejection rates surged to 35%, up from 20% in previous years, with applicants often denied for minor discrepancies. Trump's focus on curbing illegal migration has also led to aggressive deportation campaigns. Over 4,000 Bangladeshi nationals were deported in 2025 alone, many detained in ICE facilities for months without legal recourse. Economists warn that these policies strain Bangladesh's economy, which relies on remittances from overseas workers. Meanwhile, skilled professionals, such as engineers and IT specialists, are increasingly turning to Canada or Australia, where immigration rules are more predictable. For Bangladesh, Trump's security-first approach has turned the U.S. from a land of opportunity into a fortress. Number 2. Indonesia, a key Southeast Asian partner, faces unprecedented visa hurdles under Trump. The Jakarta Post revealed that visa rejection rates doubled in 2025, with over 25% of applicants denied entry for tourism, education, or business. The Trump administration flagged Indonesia for high rates of visa overstays, despite data showing most Indonesians comply with visa terms. Trade tensions have compounded the issue. Trump's tariffs on Indonesian exports like textiles and palm oil sparked retaliatory measures, souring diplomatic relations. Business visas for Indonesian entrepreneurs have grown harder to obtain, stifling cross-border investment. Students, too, are affected. Enrollment at U.S. universities dropped by 30% as applicants face lengthy background checks and fears of rejection. With fewer options, Indonesians now prioritize migration to Japan or South Korea, nations actively recruiting skilled workers. Number 1. Philippines. The Philippines, a longtime U.S. ally, now grapples with surging visa rejections and family reunification backlogs. Trump's crackdown on family-based immigration has hit Filipinos hardest, as they historically account for 20% of all U.S. family-sponsored visas. In 2025, wait times for these visas exceeded 10 years, leaving families separated indefinitely. Stricter rules also target Filipino workers in healthcare and domestic services, sectors once reliant on their labor. Homeland Security reports Filipinos rank among the top nationalities for visa overstays, prompting Trump to impose stricter entry requirements and expedited deportations. Nurses and caregivers, critical to U.S. hospitals, now face heightened credential checks and reduced visa quotas. Meanwhile, the Philippine economy suffers as remittances, worth $40 billion annually, decline. For many Filipinos, Trump's policies have shattered the American dream, forcing them to seek opportunities in the Middle East or Europe instead. Conclusion: under Trump's 2025 policies, immigration has become more restrictive than ever, reshaping U.S.-Asia relations. Countries like Syria and Myanmar face security-driven bans, while Bangladesh and the Philippines endure economic and familial fallout from visa crackdowns. From refugee resettlement cuts to trade-linked travel barriers, Trump's agenda prioritizes isolation over integration. What do you think? Do these restrictions protect U.S. interests, or do they undermine global cooperation? Share your thoughts below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more in-depth analyses.